Welcome to the Prop Market. I'm your host, the Prop King, and today I'm super excited as I have my 2024 college football season win totals, and there'll be a series of videos. But the first conference I'm going to focus on is the ACC. This is my ACC edition. I love this. This is like Christmas time. Last year I went 9 for 10 on these type of picks. I feel like this is the best juice you'll get as a better on season total picks. It is a little bit of a risk, and some people aren't able to do it because you must give the casino your money, and they're going to hold it for 6 months. But it's like it's like the stock market. It has great return. So yeah, you're giving them that, but I see that coming up just like the Nasdaq. It's going to come back and return a bunch of money for you as we go forward. Um, as I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing, I have great information on all the teams I'm picking, but I won't be picking all the teams in the ACC conference. I'm just going to pick the three that I really like, the three that I'm going to bet on. That way, I'm not wasting your time, and everyone's kind of got their time, and no one's wasting any of opportunities. Now, I will talk about other teams as well, but like I said, I'm going to focus on the three best bets for me, and I've kind of went through each team and saw, what I like, what I didn't, went through all their schedules. So I did all that research for you, and I don't want you to have to go through an hour of me talking about each conference, every team. Because there's some teams that, especially in the ACC conference, there's no reason to even really talk about. They're going to struggle this year, and so I'm not going to particularly bet on them, and their schedules are hard or whatnot. But I will touch on almost every team as I'm going through the schedules. So I have the information, and then I'll have the schedule. The schedule will have three different options. You'll have a win, which obviously a W, which means a win. It'll have a T, which means I'm not sure if they're going to win or not. It's a toss up game, coin flip, however you want to call it. And then there's the L, and those are the games I expect them to lose. The W's are worth 1, the T's are worth 0.5, and the L's are worth 0. And that's how we'll go through our process as we're going through each schedule. As I'm giving you this information, like I always say, keep what you like, leave what you don't. I strongly encourage you to go ahead and go to your casino or go wherever you need to go online, make these picks as far as your win totals, because these totals will change. Right now, we're getting in pretty good where we want with these teams, but they could always change. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to my first pick, which is the Virginia Tech Hokies. I love the Virginia Tech Hokies this year, and I'm going to tell you why. We got Brent Pry as a head coach. I think he's a great head coach, very smart, has a lot of good people around him as well. 7-6 last year, 5-3 in conference. Kind of underachieved last year, but they were bringing in a new quarterback, which we'll get to. Their win total is set at 8.5. That seems a little high. Don't be scared away. We're going to talk about this. Their returning starting quarterback, Kyron Drones. He's a dual threat guy. He can rush, he can throw. Last year, he threw for 17 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So he took care of the football, and he also ran for 800 yards. So this guy's coming in. He can run, he can throw. He's a great fantasy quarterback for those of you that are involved in that market. I love him as a fantasy quarterback. Um, I like to see the returner of a quarterback always. That brings a little bit of extra love from me, because I think when you have a quarterback and in the same system, that brings a lot of good continuity. Now we're going to go to the offensive line. 4 out of 5 offensive line returning, along with a lot of strong backups. So this is a huge deal when you have the offensive line, the trenches, as everyone knows, whoever, protect in football, that the offensive line is the most important. Defensive line, offensive line, the trenches is where you win, and they have good trenches on both sides of the football. We look at their rushing. Their running backs are coming back. They have the leading rusher, Bilal Tootin, who is just a home run threat. He gets the ball, he could be gone any play, and alongside with their second leader rusher, Malachi Thomas, who also had over 300 rushing yards. So they have their 1-2 punch coming back for the running backs behind a really good line. They also have their top 4 targets, wide receiver targets, coming back from last year. So their starting quarterbacks coming back, their running backs are coming back, their wide receivers are coming back, and almost all their linemen are coming back. So talk about experience. Now we get to their defense. top two linebackers are returning, both corners are returning, and their starting safety is also returning. So, and they have some decent transfers in from UNC and Gilliam from Oklahoma, who are highly rated out of high school. So they have a lot of talent and a lot of experience. So with all that being said, let's get to their schedule. I really love their schedule. They have Vanderbilt to start off. That's going to be a win. Marshall, that's going to be a win. Old Dominion, that's going to be a win. They start off with three for sure wins. I don't see a world where they don't start off 3-0. Then they get to Rutgers. Rutgers could be better. Some people feel they're going to be a lot better. I'm on the fence with them right now, but I still have them beating Rutgers. Now we get to University of Miami, who we'll talk about a little bit later. I feel like this is a situation where Virginia Tech has more experience, more people coming back, while Miami may be a little more talented. So it's a toss-up, and it's at Miami. So it's a toss-up. Stanford, okay, I got them as a win. Boston College is a win. Georgia Tech as a win. Syracuse, win. Okay. Clemson, I got them as a loss. Okay. I like Klubnik. I like their defense. I like their rushing game. I feel like this is a toss-up, but I just think Clemson's going to take care of that win. And then at Duke, that's a win. I like Malik Murphy from UT. Don't think he can beat teams at this point. They still need to bring a little more talent in and around him. And then Virginia, I'm down on Virginia this year as far as their talent. I only have them winning 3 games. So, and this is not going to be one of them. So I got Virginia Tech at 10.5. You add up all the wins. And I don't see a world. I only see Clemson and possibly Rutgers as their two possible losses, and Miami. I see 3 games they could possibly lose, but even if you go with that, they're still going to be over 8 wins. They would have to lose 4 games, which I don't see them losing 4 games. So this is my best bet right here, Virginia Tech over 8 wins. Next team, Mario Cristobal from Miami Hurricanes. Mario Cristobal is the head coach of Miami Hurricanes. I feel like he's got a bad rep. He has fumbled a game or two in the last year. So their record was at 7-6, 3-5 in conference, which they kind of underachieved. Their win total is set at 9, so that tells you what Vegas thinks of them. They have a transfer starting quarterback coming in, Cam Ward, who I feel could be a Heisman Trophy candidate. I think he has a huge chance to win that. Everywhere he's been, he's made the team better. When he was at Incarnate Word, made them way better, took them on a run. He was at Washington State, took them on a run. Now he's at Miami, surrounded by a lot more talent. I feel like this is just going to be his year. Watch out him maybe in the Heisman Trophy futures. You might want to look at Cam Ward. Just throwing that out there. They have 3 receivers with over 800 yards receiving returning. So they have Xavier Restrepo, 1,000-yard receiver, and George, who was a great receiver, and then Sam Brown from the University of Houston, who's also a kickoff returner, and he's also a talented, home run hitter coming in to this Miami offense. They also have a really good offensive line uh, behind them. Now the offensive line is going to be a little bit in transition, but it's Miami. They have a bunch of talent on the offensive line, and 3 out of 5 of their offensive line is returning. So they have those 2 spots to kind of fill in, but 3 out of 5 offensive linemen are returning, and that's really to me that's good considering most of those guys are highly ranked out of high school, and they have a lot of really good young high school 5 stars and 4 stars that are coming up as well. They have a transfer running back, Damian Martinez, who's a straight dog. I like how he runs. He's a ferocious runner. It's like he's angry all the time. I just love the way he runs the football. And you look at their defense, they have 8 returners, starters on defense. They're really strong in the defensive trenches. So now we're seeing they're strong on defense and the offensive trenches, and they have some of their secondary returning as well. So, overall as a team, you see they're talented. They have a lot of returners. Let's get to their schedule. Schedule starts off with Florida. I got that as a toss-up, right? Not sure. Florida could come out. I'm not high on Florida, but it's going to be a rivalry game, and it's at Florida. Next one, Florida A&M, win. Ball State, win. USF, win. Okay, those are 3 wins right there. Look at Virginia Tech. We've already talked about that game. California, they don't have the talent right now, although I like their running back. I have that as a win. Louisville's one that a lot of people are high on. I'm gonna wait and see on Louisville, see how their quarterback situation works out, but I have them winning that game. Florida State, I have it as a toss-up. Once again, rivalry game. DJ Ugalele, we'll see what Ugalele looks like. Duke, win. Georgia Tech, I think that's going to be a win. They haven't, I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure they're ready to do what they need to do offensively. Wake Forest should be a win. Talent levels down a little bit there. And then Syracuse, like I've already talked about, they're in transition. So I love this total of 10 with them. There's not one game on this schedule that they cannot win. They can win every single game on this schedule. You know, there's not a game where you're like, they're going to lose that game. They can win every game on this schedule. And when you can win every game of your schedule, you're not a clear-cut underdog in any of your games. They're avoiding Clemson. I like this team for their over 9 wins. As long as it's at 9 wins, man, you want to go ahead and cash that in. Last team for today, we have the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Dave Deveron, 9-4 last year, 6-2 in conference. You know, that's all they do is win over there. The win total's down to 8.5, and that's where they have them set at. I love that win total, by the way, because number one, they have a transfer quarterback coming in that's going to be better than Armstrong they had last year. Grayson McCall is coming in from Coastal Carolina, former player of the year in his conference. So, you know, they got a lot of talent coming right there. And then we're going to get to their offensive linemen. They have 4 offensive linemen returning, including a potential first-round pick in Anthony Belton. So, you know, really good offensive line. And the other offensive lineman spot, that 5th offensive lineman, will be used by a Notre Dame transfer, uber talented guy coming in as well. You look at the running backs position, you got Jordan Waters from Duke, who I was super impressed. I feel like he was Duke's best player last year. So they have Duke's best player transferring in to run the football behind Grayson McCall, who's going to help this passing game. This passing game will be a lot more efficient this year. They have the 17th best defense last year in the nation, and they're returning a lot of players from that team. Eight returning players. This coaching staff just knows how to play defense. This is why they've been so successful. Year after year, they turn out really good defensive guys. And this year, I see no different. Now let's get to their schedule. Their schedule, I love. Western Carolina, that's a win. Tennessee, okay, I'm looking at Tennessee as a toss-up, right? Only because I don't know what they're going to look like their first few games. I'm kind of hedging toward North Carolina State as a win. I almost posted as a win. But Tennessee, I must respect them with the talent they have, but they have a brand new quarterback. It'll just be his second game. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. La Tech, that's a win. Clemson, I have them as a loss. North Illinois, win. Wake Forest, win. Syracuse, like I've talked about, win. California, got them. California and Stanford, both, and Duke, those 3 should be an easy gauntlet. Win, 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 win. Georgia Tech, yes, Georgia Tech is still in a little bit of a dilemma here. So I have that as a win. And then North Carolina has it as a toss-up. Once again, toss-up for them. I am not too sure about them, but we'll see. So I have a win total at 10. I don't see, only game I actually see them losing for sure would be Clemson. And that's not even a for sure thing. Their schedule kind of, I look at Western Carolina, La Tech, that's 2. Northern Illinois, that's 3. Wake Forest, that's 4. California, we'll wait on that one. Stanford 5, Duke 6, Georgia Tech 7. That's 7 wins that they're just going to win off pure talent. There's no chance of losing. Yeah, California in there, Syracuse, and just respecting them a little bit. That's 9 wins. So you're already over your win total without them having to win any of these toss-up games. So with that being said, I love their over 8.5 wins for North Carolina State. Go ahead and lock that one in. If you enjoyed this video and the content that I'm giving you. Please subscribe. As I go through these videos, I will put the link of the previous videos in the comment section, but this is my first one. I'll be rolling these videos out all throughout this week going into next week, so you can go and get your win totals in. Like I said, like and subscribe. I will be your tour guide all summer for college football. I have picks for over under totals. I have lines picks, who I think is going to win on the money line. I also have prop picks as well, of course. So throughout this season, we should make a lot of money. Go ahead and subscribe so you can get all that content. Go ahead and turn on your notices so you'll know when the next video comes out. And like I always say, let's cash. Let's have a great day.